If you love to cruise but hate the cruise price tag, you're in luck because today we're talking about how we cruise for free using credit card points.
All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk basics. Now you may be wondering, how can I cruise for free using credit cards? Well, it's all about maximizing the rewards and looking to see how you can find extra benefits for even when you sign up.
I think everybody sort of has their own method, but today we're just going to be sharing with you our method, what we do, what we've done, and what we're going to be doing over the next year to maximize our credit card points.
For the first step, you need to choose a card. And there are a lot of cards out there.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of research, and going back a few years now, we've looked online, did our research, and finally came to one specific card that we use, primarily because of the maximizing the points, but also the sign-up bonus. And that card is the Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Many of these cards do offer a big sign-on bonus if you use the card to charge so many dollars within so many months. And that might be enough for you to get on board for free using those introductory points. But we chose the Chase card because of the additional benefits, which we'll dig into next.
Getting right to the details, as of today, you should know that the card does have a yearly fee of $550, but we find it worth it. Right now, the bonus is 60,000 points, which we'll talk more about, but that equals $900 right off the bat that you can use for cruising or to that free cruise. Now, in addition, you should know that they give you $300 back every year as long as you spend that money on travel. So if you booked a hotel room using the card and it was $250, each year that amount of money will be reimbursed to you. So the net of out of pocket just to own the card is really more about $250, and then you get into all the extra benefits.
So for your purchases, if I buy a $100 item, then we've earned $1. But if you use the card on dining, it's 3 times that amount. And it's 5 times for...
Well, if you use their travel agency, anything travel related through their travel agency, you get 5 times. I believe right now you get 10 times in bonus points if you're booking flights through their travel agency. And their prices are usually the same. They're never more, maybe a little bit cheaper. So it's definitely worth using the Chase travel agency for those 5 and 10 times, I'll call them power-up points.
One of my personal favorite benefits is the access to the airport lounges. The lounge in Rome we went to was amazing. It was so relaxing. They had comfortable chairs. They had tons of food and beverages. So that was like one of the highlights of our transatlantic cruise, was using that lounge in the Rome airport because we had to fly back from Rome back to Florida. So yeah, that was fun.
Yes. This is a travel card, and again, looking at other travel cards, you do your due diligence, but we think the range of choices and benefits are terrific. Now that we're focusing on travel, all of you either have pre-check or wish you had pre-check getting to and from the gates. TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
They will pay for that every 3 years or however many years it's good for. So it's not a yearly thing because you don't have to get it yearly.
5 years.
It's 5 years now?
Yeah.
But that's terrific, but every 5 years if you have the card, just consider it a benefit because they won't charge you when it shows up on your statement.
Additionally, if your luggage gets delayed or lost, you can claim benefits for that, and you will get paid money to buy for a delay, say your essentials, your clothing, toiletries, stuff like that. And then for lost luggage, then you'll get a bigger amount of money to help cover that.
Another thing to think about when you're using your current credit card or a new travel card is foreign transaction fees, because you will get hit with extra fees, 1%, 2%, if your card isn't set up to not charge you foreign transaction fees. We can vouch that our travel card, the Chase Reserve card, does not charge any fees once you're out of the United States.
Yeah, that's comforting, because when we were in Europe, I didn't dare to use my credit card because I wasn't sure if I would be charged a fee, so we just kept using the travel card.
Yeah. One tip across all cards is if you're in Europe or Caribbean and you see that there's 2 buttons to press when you get charging and it says charge in dollars or the local currency, you should actually always charge using the local currency if they give you an option, because the exchange rate is not in your favor if you select dollars and let them do the exchange. So just a helpful tip across all cards, if you can, always pay in the local currency. One of the other benefits that we luckily haven't needed to use, but we know it's in our back pocket, is the trip interruption or trip cancellation. So this isn't something, you don't feel like going, they'll pay you. But if there's a hurricane, you can't get to the ship, a variety of reasons, they will cover and reimburse you what you wouldn't get back in refunds. So that's a little bit of peace of mind.
Yeah. And one of our subscribers mentioned travel insurance for, say, if God forbid something happens while you're on the cruise or at a port and you get injured or sick. This card will cover us for that medical treatment, and then also the arrangements to get back to the States.
Just with that type of insurance, there's something that, especially for cruises, I think we pretty much all have been either delayed or had to go to a different port to let somebody off who wasn't feeling well. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it could be pretty serious.
Yeah.
It's kind of out of sight, out of mind that wouldn't happen to you. But travel cards may or may not cover the evacuation or repatriation where you have to get back home. This one does, and it's funded to, I think, $50,000 or $100,000, because that's pretty expensive if you've got to be life flighted off the ship, or you just have to be flown home, to recuperate. From the one that we never hopefully will use to one final benefit of a variety of others, and that is the auto insurance abroad. You've probably seen some of our other videos where we do rent a number of times on excursions in other countries, and this card will cover the auto insurance that they would normally make you have. So it's something that we've used multiple times.
Covers mopeds too, right?
It covers mopeds and
just checking.
I'm not sure about ATVs on trail, so
Probably
I think.
Not. Yeah. We basically try to use that card for everyday purchases as well as larger purchases. For example, last year we were doing 2 home renovations. That was a nightmare, but we were purchasing cabinets, flooring, countertops. We had to replace a septic system, which that was over $20,000. So we racked up a lot of points last year doing those 2 renovations. So we definitely got at least 1 free cruise out of that. And then we also have right now a lot of those points, in addition to other points that we've earned since then, stacked up right now, which we are holding not for a cruise, but for our transatlantic cruises. We have to take flights either over to Europe or from Europe back to the States. So we're going to be using our credit card points to purchase those airline tickets.
Those were the ones that we were talking about and remembering, but we also had a really large sign-up bonus. So I believe we actually had 2 cruises paid for just by our sign-up bonus and the renovation costs, which again, we would have paid for anyway. And we got to cruise twice and now have money set aside for these plane trips with our transatlantic
Yeah, and I
cruises.
think the first transatlantic that we booked a couple years ago was free from using the sign-up points.
Absolutely. Jewel of the Seas was on Chase.
So when you booked those cruises,
Mhm.
you actually called Chase and booked through them, and that gave us even more points, right?
Yes, yes. We listed the point values of different things. If you then book through Chase Travel, they'll give you a 50% bonus. So if you have 10,000 points, that would equal 15,000 points if you go through them. So it's a 50% bonus with this card. Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, no, $1,000 cruise. I mean, if you have enough money for $1,000, now you have enough money for a $1,500 cruise. That's significant.
Absolutely.
Some credit cards, your rewards points do expire, and you also might want to transfer points from one to another. So you're going to want to examine which ones allow you to do that and keep track of when your rewards points expire.
But you may be wondering, do these points expire at any time? This card, the Sapphire Reserve card from Chase, they never expire.
So we'll link our preferred card below, and if you use that link, it does help our channel a little bit, so that would be great. But hopefully, most importantly, you found this video helpful, and maybe it'll cause you to start investigating on your own, you know, your credit cards that you might currently have, and then researching to find a new one that maybe would meet your needs better.
Absolutely, and I gotta just tell you, there's just something about using the card, knowing that, okay, you have to pay for something, and bam, you can think, well, 1.5%, 3%, 4.5% of it is at least going to our next cruise. It's a slight smile when you've gotta use the card somewhere.
That's true, because if I try to buy something using a different card, you say, wait, use the travel card.
And I always tell you what percentage
Free cruise.
what percentage we're getting. So I won't say it gamifies it, but it makes it a little bit more fun when you do have to buy things. No matter what card you use, make sure it's a travel card, and just you'll get that much closer to your next cruise. We've been talking about how to cruise for free, or at least get money off, but we've got a lot of cruises free and ones we paid for coming up in the next year. So if you want to make sure to catch our ship tours, our cabin tours, and all the different things that we'll be doing across the next year, you should definitely subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Take care.